Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe here with tonight's Sports Ticker. The undefeated Husker women's basketball team picked up a couple of nice honors today. Annika Stewart was put on the Big Ten weekly honor roll. Stewart, the sophomore, scored a career-high 21 points in the Huskers' victory over Wyoming last Wednesday. And ESPN has named Husker head coach Amy Williams as their national coach of the week. There are only 5 undefeated teams left in Division I women's basketball. The Huskers are set to get back into conference play on Thursday at Michigan State. In fact, the tip-off time has been moved back an hour. It will now begin at 2. Our pregame coverage here on the Huskers Radio Network begins at 1:45. We'll talk some more Husker women's basketball in hour 2 when Matt Coatney stops by the show. The college football bowl season continued today with a quick lane bowl in Detroit. Western Michigan pounded Nevada 52-24. Now, COVID has claimed another bowl game with Boise State having to withdraw from the Arizona Bowl against Central Michigan. Now there's been some talk about matching the Chippewas against Washington State in the Sun Bowl. That after Miami pulled out after their team had COVID issues. The Monday Night Football matchup tonight pits the New Orleans Saints against the Miami Dolphins. Those are tonight's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Burge driving the ball down the left side, changes hands and lays it in. Alonzo Burge lickety split to the rim.
Markowski has to chuck up a three. You betcha! Is that Jazz Shelley or is that Alexis Markowski? She's hit her first 2 threes as a Husker.
Alex Rodriguez floats it over, pass by Eggleston, tight to the net, gets it back, swings, block back. Nebraska's got 3 blocks. Lucy Krause, the night of her life so far.
Drives the ball. Help defense is there. Great block, but it's retrieved by Dickinson. The putback no good. Rebound by Verge. What a great play it was by Eduardo Andre at the rim.
Shelley leading a 3-on-2. No look over the head pass to Jaime. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Jazz Shelley threw it over her head. No look pass to Jaime for the layup.
Played by Kubik, sat left, Batenhorst, big rip off the block and down. Lily Batenhorst, her finest hour as a Husker.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to another week of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Jessica's got a couple of well-deserved days off after she filled in for me last week. I appreciate her jumping into the big chair last week. And folks, got to tell you, I checked off a item from my bucket list. Had a chance to travel out to Arizona and go see the Grand Canyon. I've lived several decades on this earth and have never seen that. For those of you that have, you can relate. It is spectacular, really breathtaking to view that. You look out and you almost feel like you're looking at a painting. You're like, that can't be real, the size and the massiveness. But that was a real thrill to be able to do that last week and had a great time out there. But recharged and ready to come back and jump in and talk some Husker sports with you throughout the week here this week. Here's what we have coming up on the program tonight. We are going to talk some college football later in the hour with Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com. We'll get his take on some of these COVID issues, some of the big coaching moves that have happened in the sport of the last 3 or 4 weeks. And then obviously we'll preview the national semifinals, which are coming up on Friday. Remember, those semis, Georgia, Michigan, in one bowl game, which is in the Orange Bowl. And then you've got the Cotton Bowl with Alabama, Cincinnati. Those are on Friday. First game around 3 o'clock. The second game is going to be at night. While you're getting ready for your big New Year's Eve plans, that's what you're going to be watching. And you're probably going to go to New Year's Eve parties, I think I am, that's going to have the games on. I mean, it's almost got to be a prerequisite, right, to have the games on while you're at a New Year's Eve bash. So we'll talk about that with Adam coming up here in just a little bit. Mention it in the ticker. Matt Coatney will be here at the top of hour number 2. We'll talk about what has really become a fun story for all of us here at the network, and that's this women's basketball team, undefeated, perfect record through the non-conference, 1 league win already under their belt because they got the victory over Minnesota back in early December. So they're 1-0 in the league, and they'll now just be league games from here to the end of the season in early March, beginning on Thursday with Michigan State. And again, they moved the time of that back for television purposes. So it'll be a 2 o'clock instead of a 1 o'clock game on Thursday. So 1 hour later for the broadcast here on the network on Thursday. So Matt will join us coming up in hour number 2. Also, Jessica, a few weeks back, had a chance to catch up with Jake Applegate, the young man from Lincoln Southeast who signed a national letter of intent with Husker football, and Scott Frost, back on December the 15th. We'll hear that interview coming up in hour number 2 as well. And as always, phone lines are open and available for you at 402-413-2400. That also doubles up as our text line. I want to just recap a couple things that have happened since I was here. I last was on the program on the 17th, which was that Friday before the national championship volleyball match on Saturday the 18th. I swelled up with pride, as I know most of you did as well, with how hard that team competed and how hard that team played and how well that team played throughout the month of December. I'm talking about John Cook's volleyball squad. And just an amazing effort and an incredible run. And I don't know that I've seen a better point in the sport of volleyball than the point that won the 4th set for the Big Red. That was absolutely amazing. And most of you, I'm sure, have replayed that, either DVR'd it and gone back and watched it, or you pulled it up on YouTube or whatever. That thing was unbelievable. That 4th set, how that thing ended, in Nebraska winning that thing and forcing the 5th on Wisconsin. And even though it didn't end the way any of us wanted that thing to end, I couldn't be prouder of a team. And I don't know that I've seen John Cook coach any better than what he did with this team this year. To fold that together with the 6th-year seniors in Stivrins and Son coming back, and then the talented freshmen, and to try to merge those two, that's not an easy chore for anybody to try to do. And that team had rough patches, right? I mean, you go back to September, they lost 3 straight. And I think a lot of people on the national scene gave up on Nebraska. Oh, they're Nebraska. This isn't their year. They're done. You know, that was a stretch where they lost to Utah and Stanford and Louisville. And John just kept staying the course. They got off to that great start in league play, racked up a bunch of wins, and a lot of those were over the lower parts of the league. And then they hit the patch at the end where they did drop some league matches, and noticeably the Badgers. And it's hard. I think it's pretty easy for all of us to even sit there and say Wisconsin is just better. They just were a little bit better than Nebraska. They should have beat us 3 times. Can't really say anything other than that. But it took that kind of a team to beat John Cook's squad that was unbelievable on the defensive side, and they got so good at serving late in the year that became a weapon for them as well, and just so proud of that. And now, like the football team, you're going to have storylines that are going to develop with this team. They already have. I mean, you've got Tyler leaving to go to Long Beach State. You've got the promotion of Kelly Hunter. We're hoping to try to catch up with Kelly later this week after her well-deserved promotion to be a full-time assistant coach now. And Jalen Reyes gets bumped up the chain as well to be the lead assistant on that team. So that's a pretty big story that came out after the Final Four ended 9 days ago. And then Callie Schwarzenbach, who's now going to enter the transfer portal. She had the ability to come back. She did get recognized on Nebraska's Senior Day back before Thanksgiving. So I think there was some thought. I think there was a lot of people that thought that Callie was probably done, that she probably wasn't going to play. But I guess she's wants to compete one more. You wish her luck now that she's out of the transfer portal. But you've got some other ones. I mean, is Nicklin definitely coming back? Because even though she's played 4, because of the COVID year, she could get that extra year and come back. That's still to be determined. So there's some storylines that we'll continue to follow with that team as we make our way in the late days of December, and then obviously flip it into January. And I think some of these decisions will come in the next 10 days with that team. But, man, did you catch the TV numbers? Did you see those? That television final, 1.2 million viewers for that TV. That was unbelievable. Highest rated volleyball match ever was the Nebraska-Wisconsin National Championship game. It even beat Andrew's Jimmy Kimmel Bowl that night. They went head-to-head. The Jimmy Kimmel L.A. Bowl was on network TV. It was on ABC. It was Oregon State. Drawing a blank. Who the Oregon State? Utah State. I think it's Utah State, Oregon State. And it drew 1.1. So the volleyball championship match on ESPN beat a bowl game on ABC. That's remarkable, folks. That is absolutely, and good for the sport of volleyball, right? I mean, it is, and a lot of us around here have said it for years, that it's an underappreciated sport across the country. It's not here because it's been so good, and the national titles and the banners that are hanging up at the Devaney Center. We get it. We understand how intoxicating that sport can be. But phenomenal and well-deserved and good for the sport of volleyball. Great show put on by Nebraska and Wisconsin. That was just fantastic. All right, football. Some news also has happened since I was last with you 10 days ago, and that's that Tony Tuioti has opted to leave Nebraska and go join the new staff out at Oregon after Mario Cristobal departed for Miami. That was bizarre, too, by the way, that whole Miami thing with Manny Diaz still the coach, and everybody was saying that Cristobal was going to take the job and Diaz has still got the title. That was weird. Poorly handled by the Hurricanes and their administration there. So you've got Tony leaving for Oregon, and you know, I get that. I understand that. I love Tony Tuioti. I think he did a terrific job for Nebraska. I think he will be missed. He was a good recruiter. You could sense, if you followed social media last week when that announcement came out, how many Husker players tweeted their congrats and their thanks to Tony for helping them develop. Guys like Ty Robinson, Casey Rogers, Nash Huntmacher. I mean, a bunch of them. Ben Stilley, a bunch of them reached out to him and thanked him. The guys liked him. They really did. I liked him. I thought he was a great member of the staff. Going to miss seeing Tony around here. But I think what's going to happen now, and a lot of you keep asking, you know, what's going to happen at the running back coaching position? Because remember, there were 4 openings. Scott Frost hired 3. You had Coach Whipple, Coach Raiola, and you had Coach Joseph got hired. So there was 1. Now you have 2 openings on that staff. And I think what's going to probably happen is you're going to probably massage the defensive staff. And something to me that might be easy is Mike Dawson maybe goes back and handles the defensive line. I mean, that's what he did before he left for the Giants a couple of years ago and then came back when the Giants made a coaching change. So I think you could see Mike Dawson being shifted from outside linebacker coach to the defensive line. And maybe Barrett Root takes the entire linebacking corps. I don't, I mean, I'm just speculating here. I haven't seen Coach Frost in a couple of weeks, so I don't, so I'm speculating here a little bit. But if you do that, that opens up a spot to hire a running backs coach and a spot to hire a special teams coach. So I don't know how much movement we'll have this week. This is kind of a down week. A lot of people are on vacation. I think the head coach is off somewhere. I hope he is. I hope Scott Frost is off somewhere, enjoying time with his family. Needs that a little bit right now. So I wouldn't anticipate anything dropping this week. I might be surprised, but I wouldn't anticipate that. But I certainly think you'd get into something next week after you get the New Year's behind us and get into 2022. So I think what happens now is I think you do reshape some things with this staff. You maybe have 1 fewer defensive coach, allowing you to use that 10th spot for a special teams coach. So I think that's what's probably going to happen. And I don't know that Scott Frost had a heads up that this was going on. I mean, nobody knew Mario Cristobal was leaving Oregon until about 2 weeks ago. And then I think maybe it heated up from that once they got the coach from Georgia, Lanning, hired as Oregon's new coach, that might happen. But that's where my head's kind of thinking about where Scott Frost may go with this thing to reshape that defensive staff and get moving forward. Transfer portal still very, very active. The numbers are eye-popping, how many young guys are in the portal right now. And now you're starting to see it. If you follow the volleyball portal, the same thing's happening in that sport. Just hundreds of young student-athletes jumping their name in that portal. There aren't that many scholarships. And then that's what happened with Phildarius. Phildarius Payne decided to come back. I'm glad he did. I didn't understand why Phildarius would want to leave. I think the coaches praised Phildarius all year long. He fit a need, a role for this team. So I was glad to see that Phildarius had a change of heart, and good for Nebraska, right? To say, yeah, we'll take you back. We wanted you. We didn't want you to leave. So come on back. And I saw that with a wide receiver from Florida International that Nebraska had shown some interest in. He came out and said that, you know, he was going to stay at FIU. So Nebraska had kicked the tires on that young man, but he's going to stay at FIU. I think that's fine. I think these guys Some of them are seeing the numbers. They're seeing 1,100 young men in the portal, and only 240 of them have got scholarships. There's not enough scholarships for you to jump. And so I hope the advice these young men and women in the case of the sport of volleyball are getting better advice and thinking these things through before they just go, oh, there's going to be dozens of schools lined up to take me if I put my name in this transfer portal and hop away. So good. Glad to get Feldarius Payne back. He had some good moments for Nebraska. I thought, honestly, that he would have more than he did. I think he battled some injuries during the fall that maybe kept him from being a bigger factor, getting more sacks, getting more hurries on the quarterbacks than he did this year. But I'm glad he's back. I think he can be an impact guy for the Black Shirts again next year. All right, those are some thoughts I have about what's been going on here the last week or so. Glad for Fred Hoiberg and the Huskers to finally break that long losing skid. It had been almost 4 weeks since they'd won a game. Glad that they beat Kennesaw last Wednesday. Boy, does it make a difference when the ball goes through the hoop, right? I mean, when that team started splashing some threes, their defense was better. Their passing was better. Their cutting to the basket was better. Coming off screens harder. It all flows better when you're making shots. Huskers did that. Hopefully that continues on. We'll have Coach Hoiberg in here tomorrow night for his next radio show. In fact, we'll have both head coaches in here tomorrow. Amy Williams will be here in hour 1, and then Fred Hoiberg in hour number 2. The men do not play again till Sunday, and they're back into league play as well. Ohio State will be at the Vault on Sunday night for a 7 o'clock tip. Buckeyes are having some COVID issues themselves. They canceled their midweek game. They missed some games right before Christmas. I'm told by some people on the ground in Columbus that they're much better. They're not quite ready for a midweek game, but they believe they will be able to field a team and be in Lincoln for the Sunday game against the Huskers. All right, that's what we're dealing with here tonight. Talking about COVID, help stop the spread of COVID and score a Husker basketball VIP package. Win a Husker basketball VIP experience, including tickets, a signed basketball, and exclusive game day access, courtesy of NOMI. N-O-M-I, NOMI Health, your convenient COVID-19 testing partner. Visit huskers.com/NOMI, N-O-M-I, for more information. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment, a question, or fire off a text. We're back with Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com. We'll do that next.
Find your new truck at Woodhouse Chevy. Lease a 2022 Chevy Silverado K1500 LTD Custom for $469 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles a year. The strongest, most advanced Silverado ever comes equipped with a legendary engine for epic journeys. Find new roads and explore all of our inventory arriving daily at WoodhouseGM.com. WAC, TTL Extra, first payment of doc fee due at signing. Must have current GM or competitive make lease to qualify. Must have current Costco membership as of 9/30/21. Offer expires 12/31/2021. See dealer for details.
What's better than Huskers basketball? A Husker basketball VIP package. Enter for a chance to win 4 tickets to a game, hospitality access with food, a signed basketball, and the chance to hang courtside during warm-up, all courtesy of NOMI Health, your convenient COVID-19 testing partner. So, get tested and help stop the COVID spread and enter to score a Husker basketball VIP package. Slam dunk, indeed. To enter, visit huskers.com/NOMI, huskers.com/NOMI.
Tailgating pros agree that Lucille's Famous Fried Chicken and More at Sapp Brothers scores big with Husker fans. Be the MVP of your tailgate party this year and let Lucille's do the cooking. Stop by Sapp Brothers Travel Center or visit www.sappbros.net to find out how you can elevate your tailgate party with Lucille's Famous Fried Chicken, celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official sponsor of Husker Athletics.
Pivot control has never been easier. T&L Irrigation now offers a new control panel called Precision Point Touch. It's a full-color 7-inch graphic touchscreen that's easy to use and gives you lots of great tools to make your irrigation faster and more efficient. Set up your pivots the way you want. You can update your older controls to the new Precision Point control panel too. Call your local T&L dealer or visit TLIRR.com. T&L Irrigation, like no other.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Hey, Nebraska fans, Jimmy John's in Omaha is currently looking for people to join their team with sandwich maker positions starting at $12 to $15 an hour, management positions with competitive pay and benefits, and delivery drivers earning up to $30 an hour with mileage and tips. Visit dkpmcorp.com and apply now. That's dkpmcorp.com. Come join the Jimmy John's team today. You can also visit any of the local independently owned and operated Jimmy John's franchises to learn more.
Here we go again. The celebrating, the accolades. Ever since we added Marco to our team, our technology can't lose. Day after day, success after success, Marco's made our business IT a force to be reckoned with. The only drawback of being technology all-stars is keeping champagne away from the electronics. Find out what your technology could be saying at marconet.com.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Score a game-winning drive when you buy your next vehicle at Sid Dillon Chevrolet. As a Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles, including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Whatever vehicle fits your needs, we're here to make the purchase process easy. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo. Plus, shop our full inventory at SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Welcome back inside of our Acres Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer. They've got 27 locations across Nebraska and into Kansas. Acres solutions for every field. Delighted tonight to be joined by Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com. The college bowl season underway, at least the ones that are getting played, and thought it'd be a good chance to catch up with Adam and talk some college football. Man, Adam, I thought we had all this COVID stuff behind us. It's been frustrating, hasn't it, seeing some of these games get canceled?
It really has, Greg. College football was really only affected by one game in the regular season out in the Pac-12, but then unfortunately the bowl games, the timing and obviously the rates that are going up have unfortunately led to some cancellations and teams moving around, and you just hope it doesn't impact some of the more meaningful games that are coming up.
Well, I think the interesting thing, Adam, to me in the last month as it pertains to college football is coaches leaving Oklahoma and Notre Dame for other jobs. I don't know that I thought I'd live long enough to see guys that would bolt those two big programs. What's your take on all that?
Well, I think you could look at it a couple of ways. You could look at it much more in the individual situations, which I tend to do, which are, you have, Lincoln Riley, who had been mentioned for other jobs in the NFL, and, Oklahoma's in an interesting spot moving to the SEC. I think it was just he'd reached a point in his career where he wanted something different, and USC provided that opportunity at a program that I think, if all things are clicking, can still be one of the top 2 or 3 or 4 programs in college football. And then Brian Kelly is sort of at the other end. He's, his career, he's probably only got one big move left, and he decided to make it rather than finish out at Notre Dame. In some ways, that was a little more surprising just because he's kind of more in the legacy building phase of his career. But, that legacy will now include leaving Notre Dame without any sort of pressure from the job perspective to a program in LSU that has been very much up and down. I mean, the highs are as high as it can be, national championships, and then the lows have been a lot of trouble and drama and things like that. So we'll see how he does down in the Bayou, but it certainly is historic to see two coaches that really weren't facing any sort of employment pressure leave their positions for other ones. And one other thing to point out is that a lot of fans assume that Power 5 coaches move around a lot. They don't. Very rarely does a Power 5 coach, even one that's not at a program like Oklahoma or Notre Dame, choose to leave for another Power 5 job. It just rarely happens.
Yeah, and particularly for Oklahoma, they just don't have coaches bolt them at all. So what'd you make of the hires? Was there a lot of logic behind the hires in your eyes at those two places?
I think a little bit more so at LSU. At USC. Are you talking about the replacements?
Yeah,
I think there's a lot. Sorry. I think a lot of both of them make sense on a number of levels. I think at Notre Dame, and they kind of outlined this right when Brian Kelly left, is that they're in a different place now than they were when they hired him, when they really weren't in a good position as a program. Now they're in a really stable position, and so I think they have the ability to go more with continuity, which was what they did with Marcus Freeman, who is a really bright young coach. We'll see how good of a head coach he is, but I think he does bring some qualities that maybe weren't Brian Kelly's strengths, especially from a recruiting standpoint and a relationship building standpoint. Now, can he get the team on the field on game day to win as often as Brian did? That's going to be a tall task, but I think there's a lot of elements around the program that Marcus can upgrade. You're already seeing it in recruiting. I think you're going to see it with NIL and some of those areas that maybe weren't fully maximized under Kelly. And then as far as Oklahoma, your hire makes a lot of sense. I really like, and you'll appreciate this, knowing the Nebraska-Oklahoma tradition. I mean, Oklahoma's best teams are more defense-driven. And as much fun as the Lincoln Riley era was, and even the end of the Bob Stoops era, they've experienced a significant drop-off on defense. And so I thought it was important for them to go defense with this hire, whether that was Brent Venables or Dan Lanning from Georgia, who eventually became the Oregon coach, or a head coach who had a background on defense. I thought that was the right move here. And, who better than a guy like Brent Venables, who's been at Oklahoma, who knows the place, also recruits at a really high level to come in there and have success after Lincoln Riley.
Again, visiting Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com here on Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network. Okay, the national semifinals, it's a couple of days away. It's kind of refreshing to me, Adam, to have some different names in there with Michigan and Cincinnati. What do you make of the Final Four?
Yeah, I'm excited. You always go in, again, history, and you know this, Greg, history does not favor compelling semifinals.
Nope.
Most of these semifinals are not very fun to watch as far as competitiveness. Now, this year, as most years, I'm trying to remain optimistic, and I think there's reason to be optimistic. I think Michigan may not be better than Georgia, but they're going to go into the game with more confidence than Georgia after the wins over Ohio State and then in the Big Ten championship game against Iowa. Whereas Georgia's confidence, it doesn't really matter what they say; it has to be rattled a little bit after the way that they played against Alabama in the SEC championship after being so dominant for the entire regular season. So I think it's two teams with some similarities. Both really like to win at the line of scrimmage. Both have somewhat unheralded quarterbacks in Michigan's Cade McNamara and Georgia's Stetson Bennett. I think both have great defensive line play, and Michigan might have an edge with its pass rushing tandem of Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo and how they can pressure Stetson Bennett, whereas Georgia probably has the advantage as far as stopping the run, which Michigan likes to do. So I'm really excited for this one, just to see how Michigan performs on this stage. But again, confidence-wise, Michigan will not go in intimidated. They have slayed the dragon. They're the big scarlet and gray one about a month ago, and so I don't think they're going to be intimidated at all going against Georgia.
Luke Fickell, Adam's done such an amazing job at Cincinnati. Are you surprised at all that he's still there? I mean, his stock has been so high the last couple of off seasons. Prominent jobs have opened, and yet there he still is a Bearcat head coach. Does that surprise you at all?
Well, yes, in the sense that of what you just said, because typically very few coaches would still be in a job like Cincinnati, even though it's a soon-to-be Big 12 job. versus moving somewhere a little bit bigger. But the reason I'm not surprised is because of the timing of so many of these hires, that everybody was pretty much hired by December 10th, December 15th. And so, whereas Luke was coaching a team that had just been selected to the college football playoff. So that's the difference, is that he was not going to leave his team for another program while it's still chasing a national championship, which is commendable and understandable. Now, if Notre Dame were willing to wait, or if Oklahoma were willing to wait, maybe there's a different conversation there. And you never know what happens with Ryan Day. If an NFL team comes after him in Ohio State, I think that would be a very, very quick coaching search if Ohio State had to replace Ryan Day. But it appears, at least for now, like Luke Fickell will be back with Cincinnati for the 2022 season, which is a huge win for them, because the closer that they get to the Big 12, Greg, I think the better their chances are of keeping Luke there for the long term.
Yeah, he's done just an amazing job. That's a really good team. And I'm anxious to see if they can at least hang with Bama for a little bit in that game. Adam, I want some thoughts from you on the transfer portal. I know you talked to a lot of coaches around the country. We've seen, even here at Nebraska, a young guy who put his name in the portal and then took it out and decided to stay here. What are you sensing from coaches around the country? Everybody's taking advantage of this, but there's obviously more kids that go in that are going to have scholarships waiting for them on the other side. What are you hearing from coaches?
Right, a lot of those same complaints, that there's too many guys in the portal. One thing that I think could be an adjustment, which I think would be a positive thing, honestly, is to actually have transfer windows, so that the portal, you could go into the portal whenever, but as far as making a move, you couldn't do that until maybe after the regular season, or maybe there'd be a second transfer window sometime in the spring. I think one of the frustrating things for coaches is that the portal is never ending, that it's always alive. The guys can go in and out, like you said, whenever they want. And that's a difficult thing to manage, especially when you have an early signing date, in some cases when you're trying to hire staff, if you've had a coaching change. And so I think one idea that I was talking with Todd Berry from the AFCA about is to actually have the month of December, or right after the regular season ends, very much devoted to transfers. Like, that's your transfer window. That's when everybody's focused on the portal, and then, maybe close up the portal at one point, and then everything shifts more to the high school recruiting. So again, it's something I always caution coaches and others to go to not go doom and gloom on everything, because it's not like it's going to change. I think the important thought and energy needs to be in how do you modify this to maybe make it a little bit more useful and beneficial to the sport, because I do sense that there's it's definitely been kind of what a lot of people expected, very, very full, and not necessarily always a good thing.
All right, we'll let you go with this. I know you were out in Vegas a couple of weeks ago. There's been some rumblings from some of the commissioners that they'd like to do away with that early signing date in December. Is there wind behind the sails of that, Adam?
Yes, and it's kind of connected to this, right? This is what the coaches are discussing. And the idea would be to really make December much more like who's coming into my program through the portal, who's going out, how many roster spots am I working with, and then you do early signing in early January. Or maybe they go all the way back to the initial, just the one signing date in February. Now, there's some that are fine with the signing date where it is in mid-December, but there does seem to be an increased attention, because what Todd Berry told me, the AFCA executive director, is coaches were saying to him, hey, I had to cancel recruiting visits after the regular season because I'm too worried about my team and who's coming in and who's out. So I have to spend those days and those weeks focused on my current roster, and then I can pivot towards the high school recruiting.
Wow. All right, you home basing this week, or are they sending you to do a game?
Nope, I'm home base probably for the rest of the year, but yeah, there's no plans to go anywhere else.
Great stuff. Adam, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
All right, happy holidays. Happy New Year. Thanks, Greg.
There he is, Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com, joining us on our Sports Nightly Hotline, which is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Need to slip a break in? Phone lines, text line open for you, 402-413-2400. More Sports Nightly straight ahead.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions in drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit DeToe Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DeToeSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Finally, it's time to tailgate, to find your spot in a sea of red, to get together with family and fans, and to share what makes Husker football season the best. This season, share Valentino's Tailgater tradition with their Big Red Double Jumbo deal and get 2 one-topping jumbo pizzas for only $17.99 each. Order yours at Valentinos.com. Some restrictions apply. See store for details. Valentino's, the official pizza of the Huskers. Go Big Red.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections. When it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more. Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Shop the Season of Inspiration sales event at Woodhouse Mazda today, where you can get 0.9% APR for 36 months on remaining 2021 Mazdas. From the Mazda CX-5 to the Mazda CX-30, the Mazda family of crossovers is designed for the road ahead. Test drive one today at one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations in Bellevue or Omaha, or shop online. This is Woodhouse. WEC TTL extra offer expires 12/31/2021. See dealer for details.
What's better than Huskers basketball? A Husker basketball VIP package. Enter for a chance to win 4 tickets to a game, hospitality access with food, a signed basketball, and the chance to hang courtside during warm-up, all courtesy of Nomi Health, your convenient COVID-19 testing partner. So, get tested and help stop the COVID spread and enter to score a Husker basketball VIP package. Slam dunk, indeed. To enter, visit huskers.com/Nomi, huskers.com/NOMI.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
Momentum.
It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln with game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots. And we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
Help stop the spread of COVID and score a Husker basketball VIP package. Win a Huskers basketball VIP experience, including tickets, a signed basketball, and exclusive game day access, courtesy of NOMI, N-O-M-I, Health. Your convenient COVID-19 testing partner. Visit huskers.com/NOMI for more information. Greg Sharpe back with you on a Monday night. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas. A lot of you probably off this week. Good for you. The week between Christmas and New Year's, the campus is quiet, closed, shut down. Fall semester in the books. The graduation ceremony took place on the 18th. Congratulations to all those recent graduates. That is fantastic. So glad to be able to see you through the process for all of that. A couple of folks on our text line, by the way, our numbers, if you want to be a part of it, 402-413-2400. Art in Los Angeles. Greg, talk about the Bulls being canceled. Also, what would happen if the championship bowl game got canceled? This has been, I know we're all just so fed up with COVID. We want it to go away. I think we're on the tail end of this thing, thank goodness. But it's heartbreaking that these young men put in all this effort to get to go to a bowl game as a reward for all their hard work, and then it gets canceled because they have too much of an outbreak on their team. It's happened so much. It happened to Boise State today. Miami can't go to the Sun Bowl. That actually might benefit the Sun Bowl with what happened to Boise, because there's a lot of talk about Central Michigan this going from Tucson. They're already out in Tucson over to El Paso and play the Sun Bowl. It'd be a nice little bump in payout money for the Chippewa, so I hope that happens. But, Art, if it happens in one of the semifinal games, it's a forfeit. So if something happens with Michigan or Georgia or Cincinnati or Alabama, it's a forfeit. And, man, I hope that does not happen. And if it happens on the 10th, which is the day of the championship game, again, it would be a forfeit. And, man, I hope that does not happen. It would break my heart if college football had that way. And, you know, we talked about this on the program last spring. Kim Mulkey, longtime great coach from Baylor, women's basketball. She said the teams that get to the Final Four, stop testing them. Just stop. These are healthy young athletes. Stop testing them at that point in time. I agreed with her then. I wish we would do it now. I mean, these young, healthy athletes are not being affected like older people are by COVID. It's not sending them to the hospital. But there you go, Art. So if somebody can't play at the championship level or even a bowl game, you're just out. It's a forfeit. You lose the game. So, Art, appreciate that coming in. Brian in York says, if a player enters the transfer portal for a second time during his career, is he automatically eligible, or does he have to get a waiver from the NCAA to be eligible? Good question, Brian. It is a one-time transfer rule. So if you have transferred once, you can play right away. If you transfer a second time, nope, you got to sit. You got to sit for the full year. So I think that's what you were asking, Brian. Good question. It's a one-time transfer rule that you're eligible immediately. If you transfer a second time in your college career, you got to sit for a year. So appreciate that call. All right, that text. Let's go down to Kansas. John, you're up next here on Sports Island. Good evening.
Greg Sharpe, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
I've got a question. Have you been to a men's basketball game?
I have, yes.
Okay. I have too, and I'm actually a season ticket holder. But they started doing something, playing a song. I guess it kind of comes in after the national anthem now. There was a little issue previously. They played it before. But it's a song with a great message. Do you know if are they still doing that? Is that something that's going to happen during the conference games? Because, again, it's a great message, but that song just totally drains the energy out of that arena right as we're getting ready to tip off. Again, nothing wrong. I have nothing against the message that song has, but holy smokes, can we play it after the game or at halftime? What have you seen? Have you heard anything?
No, John, I think the plan is to continue to play it. It's Lift Every Voice is the name of the song. And I agree with you. It's a great message. But I also agree that it's really slow-paced. It's draggy. And you got the crowd into kind of a frenzy. The team makes their entrance on the smoke. They run through the smoke tunnel and all that. Here they come. You kind of know you got to sit through the minute 20 of the national anthem. And then Lift Every Voice, you're right. It's a very slow, methodic song with a good message, but you're right, it does kind of kill the ambiance of the crowd. That's a great, fair point. I know Trev was on last week when I was gone, so I didn't have a chance to talk to him about that, but I'll ask around, but my guess is it's going to continue to be played.
I mean, well, I think our team, I mean, we hear it every time we got a game, a home game. We know the message. The other team coming in, okay, it's a one-time deal for them, and again, it's like you said, it's a great message. But I just think it takes the energy out of our arena when we've got an opportunity to just here we go, let's tip this thing off. The energy is as high as it's been, and then we play this song. So just my thoughts.
All right, fair point, John. Appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call. Now, and the same thing crossed my mind, and I think it's being done other places. I don't think it's just Nebraska that is playing Lift Every Voice. I think it's happening in a lot of places around the country. But the same thing crossed my mind, that it's just a really slow-paced song that kind of gets you out of the frenzy of getting fired up and ready to go play. So that's a fair point, and it's something I'll run by the folks here in Nebraska. Good call. Thanks, John. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by our good friends at the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400. We're back to put the bow on hour one next.
Isn't it about time to add a new piece of Husker gear to your closet? Check out the new 255 collection, inspired by the legendary coach Tom Osborne. With the mission to connect style with Nebraska pride, 255 was designed with the fan in mind. From Hastings to Lincoln, coach to statesman, leader to legend. Thomas William Osborne, it's all in the name. It's all in the numbers, 255 wins. This is TWO 55. Get yours today at shop.huskers.com or other participating retailers. For more information, visit huskers.com/255.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Nebraska fans, Jimmy John's in Omaha is currently looking for people to join their team with sandwich maker positions starting at $12 to $15 an hour, management positions with competitive pay and benefits, and delivery drivers earning up to $30 an hour with mileage and tips. Visit dkpmcorp.com and apply now. That's dkpmcorp.com. Come join the Jimmy John's team today. You can also visit any of the local independently owned and operated Jimmy John's franchises to learn more.
It's Game On at Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont, featuring our winning combination of Buick SUVs and GMC trucks and SUVs. And as a GMC Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles for your business needs. For the convenient and easy way to shop for your next vehicle, just visit our Fremont location or check out our full inventory at SidDillonBuickGMC.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
We are professional grade.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer with 27 locations across Nebraska and into Kansas. Acres Solutions for every field. A few more minutes left in hour one of Sports Nightly here on a Monday night post-Christmas show, leading you up to another holiday, the New Year's Eve, which will be Friday night this year. And finally, we get some good, cool weather coming through here. We're going to chill it down. We're going to make it feel like winter. I mean, come on. You couldn't have enjoyed that Christmas day with 60 degrees. Come on. Anybody enjoy that? No, I know you did. You probably really did. But, yeah, cold weather coming our way, and maybe even a little snow coming our way over the weekend here in Lincoln. Talked earlier about some of these bowl games getting canceled because of COVID issues. A lot of college basketball games being canceled this week. And last week, some games were called off because of COVID issues. Some conferences now are starting to tweak their COVID regulations. The ACC came out today and announced that it is going to add shorter isolation options for vaccinated individuals. This follows an update from the CDC. The CDC came out today and said they're dropping the period of after you test positive to only 5 days before you can get back and kind of join the general population. So the CDC is making some adjustments on that. So the ACC, I know I'm throwing a lot of alphabet soup at you right now, but starting to do that. And I think all the conferences are going to have to react to this a little bit. If not, we could have just a mess of a basketball season coming up over the next couple of months with all the Omicron breakouts that we're seeing across the country. Thank goodness most reports are that this is not nearly as severe as Delta was, and that it's, in a lot of cases, it's just kind of a cold symptoms that people are getting. That's great. I'm glad that that's happening. So now, sports, and the ACC did it today. You hope the Big Ten's paying attention and can come out with some kind of resolution to drop these times that once you test positive, if you get some negative tests, that you can get back into your sport quicker than maybe before. Remember, we started like at 15 days. I think we went to 10. Now you're maybe dropping it to 7 or to 5 days. That's going to help a lot of these teams who are battling these things right now. The NBA is trying to hang on. The NHL put the pause on, right? The NHL's on a pause with their season right now. The NFL certainly has been battling their way through this thing the last couple of weeks. I read earlier today the Saints, who are kicking off here in about 30 minutes against the Dolphins, they have 14 different players on their roster tonight than they had in their last game. 14. You only have 48 active. So I have 14 brand new players, including Ian Book, who's about to make his first start for the Saints tonight at quarterback. That's a lot of new bodies being shuffled out there. So these leagues are going to have to adapt a little bit with the kind of the changing times, the changing of the severity of the variant, that type of thing. You have to be able to be adaptive, so I'm glad to see the ACC jump in there and do that today. Hopefully the Big Ten will follow soon. You've already had, I think it's 3 women's games, Big Ten women's games, that have been canceled later this week. Nebraska's right now is on with Michigan State. That'll be a Thursday game. They did tweak the time of it. It'll be a 2 o'clock start instead of 1. We'll talk women's hoops. We're going to ask Matt Coatney, why is this team not ranked? Undefeated. What's going on, Coat? We'll get the explanation, talk with him. We're going to hear from Jake Applegate, the young man who signed a letter of intent with the Huskers out of Lincoln Southeast High School. Going to play some football for Scott Frost and the Cornhuskers. We'll hear from him next hour as well. Time to tell you to buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Thanks to Adam Rittenberg for spending some of his holiday week with us here in Hour 1. Matt Coatney, Jake Applegate coming up in Hour 2. Don't go away. A lot more fun headed your way next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
This winter season, don't just get ready, drive ready with a new truck or SUV from Woodhouse. Easily tackle the snow-covered streets and holiday road trips with the whole family with our selection of the top truck and SUV brand lineups. Plus, our team is ready to get you the capability you need, the comfort you want, and the tech to keep the kids entertained. Visit one of our 17 locations and win the season with a new truck or SUV from Woodhouse.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
There Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions in drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Sometimes being an office printer feels like I'm competing in an Olympic sport. Thankfully, I have Marco's Managed Print Services on my team. Marco's game plan helps me make big plays while saving big bucks. And Marco's lightning fast tech support gets me back in the game fast. I'm up. Find out what your printers could be saying with Marco's Managed Print Services at marconet.com.
Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's sports ticker. The undefeated Husker women's basketball team picked up a couple of nice honors today. Annika Stewart was put on the Big Ten weekly honor roll. Stewart scored a career-high 21 in the Huskers' victory over Wyoming. And ESPN has named Husker head coach Amy Williams as their national coach of the week. There are only 5 undefeated teams left in Division I women's basketball. Your Huskers are one of them. Huskers are set to get back into conference play Thursday at Michigan State. The league announced today they are moving the tip-off time of that game back an hour. It'll now be a 2 o'clock Central start up in East Lansing. Our pregame coverage here on the Huskers Radio Network begins at 1:45. We'll hear more about the Husker women's team coming up here in just moments. Matt Coatney will be stopping by the show. College football bowl season continued today with a Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit. Western Michigan defeated Nevada 52-24. COVID has claimed yet another bowl game. Boise State having to withdraw from the Arizona Bowl against Central Michigan. A lot of chatter about the Chippewas heading east to the Sun Bowl in El Paso, where Washington State is looking for an opponent after Miami had to pull out of their game because of COVID issues. They're about to kick it off down in New Orleans in the Monday Night Football game tonight. It's the Saints hosting the Miami Dolphins. Those are tonight's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here's Verge driving the ball down the left side, changes hands and lays it in. Alonzo Verge licking his foot to the rim.
Markowski has to chuck up a three. You betcha! Is that Jazz Shelley or is that Alexis Markowski? She's hit her first 2 threes as a Husker.
Alex Rodriguez floats it over, pass by Eggleston, tight to the net, gets it back, swings, block back. Nebraska's got 3 blocks. Lucy Krause, the night of her life so far.
Drives the ball. Help defense is there. Great block, but it's retrieved by Dickinson. The putback no good. Rebound by Verge. What a great play it was by Eduardo Andre at the rim.
Shelley leading a 3-on-2. No look over the head pass to Heidi. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Jazz Shelley threw it over her head. No look pass to Heidi for the layup.
Played by Kubik, sad left, Batenhorst, big rip off the block and down. Lily Batenhorst, her finest hour as a Husker.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for hour number 2 on our post-Christmas show here on a Monday. Jessica getting a couple of well-deserved days off. She'll join me again middle part of the week. Coming up this hour, Matt Coatney's going to stop by here in a couple of minutes. We'll talk Husker women's basketball, that undefeated team picking up some national honors now. People starting to take notice of this start to this season. And we'll hear from Jake Applegate. From Lincoln Southeast, he signed a national letter of intent with Scott Frost and the Husker football team back on December the 15th. We'll hear from Jake coming up in a little bit later on in the hour as well. We start off the hour. Welcome on board, Matt Coatney coming on to talk a little Husker women's basketball. Merry Christmas, Coat. Hope you had a good holiday.
I did, Sharpie. Happy holidays to everybody. I enjoyed seeing your pictures from the Grand Canyon. Looked like you had a great trip, and I just assume everybody is smiling from ear to ear like I am, being the voice of a team that's 12-0 right now.
Yeah, I'm sure that made the dinner taste a little bit better, the presents a little bit sweeter. What a start for this team. What's been the key? What's been the magic that this group's got going in your eyes?
Well, obviously you have to have talent, but, I have said consistently from the beginning of the season that this team has tremendous chemistry, and I think they play for each other. And there have been a couple of times this year when it was very clear to me that the players are taking ownership of what's happening on the floor. I know the win against Creighton, the players felt like, the coaches could only do so much. They needed to go out and take it to Creighton, the team that had beaten Nebraska 5 times in a row. I know that Michael Caton, who is a transfer from Cal, really kind of got the team fired up and to understand that in that Big Ten ACC Challenge game at Wake Forest, it was undefeated. They needed to come out and set the tone in that game. Greg, the teams I've been around that have been really successful, the players really take a role in what's going to happen mentally, and they also play for each other. I got to tell you, it's fun being on that bus, going to the arena for shoot-around or heading back and forth to the airport. So Really, I just think this is a special team in terms of the way they interact with each other.
Matt, one thing that's been interesting is she's playing a lot of players. Do you think that continues? And I know that's good for morale. It's good in the locker room. Everybody feels like they're contributing. But can she continue to rotate that many bodies through, do you think?
It's a great question, Greg, and I'll tell you why I think that Amy's going to be able to do it. First of all, she wants to do it. And, I think that if you want to play that many players, then you'll find a way to do it. Number two, it's one thing to say that you have depth, but are they more bodies or are they contributing? And I'm going to tell you, someone like Michael Caton, who's coming off that leg injury, where she can't really go 30, 40 minutes, but she can give you bursts of time, is the kind of person that can come in and give you a quick 7 points. She's starting to remind me, you might remember Janine Morton, who was on the Husker team the last time they went to the NCAA tournament, where she transferred in and just came in and really kind of changed the tone of the game. Then you have someone like an Allison Widener, who I really think would start for most teams. Huskers don't lose much when she comes in and plays point guard. You go all the way down to really the last person on the roster, walk-on Whitney Brown. Last year the Huskers didn't have numbers, and Whit played a lot. Had a really big game at Michigan State in a win last year. So, Greg, I think Amy Williams can do it because she's not losing much when she goes to the bench. In fact, in some ways, you come off the bench with Alexis Markowski at 6'3", you're not losing much. In fact, you're really kind of causing matchup problems. So the matchup problems, the quality depth, I think Amy's going to be able to continue to play that many people.
Co, how beneficial can that be for a team in February and March if the minutes haven't piled up on 5 or 6 players as much as they have in the past? That's got to be a big help, isn't it?
It's a huge help. And Amy and I have talked about it many times that, I think she realized after her first couple of years here at Nebraska that the teams that are freshest in February, because, that's when you really are playing for seeds in the postseason or the Big Ten tournament, whatever, position you're in. You've got to keep your players fresh. And, there's so many teams you see that they get worn down. You see there have been a couple of teams in the Big Ten. Iowa's a great example where their coach has the different philosophy where I'm going to stick with this core 7 or 8 people, and then sometimes you get worn down. Amy wants to have a team that's fresh for the postseason, and when you get to the postseason, if you're dead or you're battling injuries, it doesn't really help you if you aren't fresh. So I think that's at the forefront of her mind in some of the ways that she manages her bench.
Matt Coatney and the good folks at NDOT want to remind you to buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, I'm going to get you fired up here because Crypto King in our chat room wants to know, why are the women not ranked?
They are. They're 7th in the NET rankings, which is the only one that matters anymore. You all need to forget about the AP poll. Who cares? Who cares about the AP poll? It means nothing. There are 351 Division I women's basketball teams, Greg. How many teams play Division I football? Okay? And you got 100 and some odd, right?
130.
And you got a whole 130. Okay, so you got 3 times as many teams. You got a whole room of people that are trying to figure out, the bowl championship series. And who looks at the AP poll in football once they come out with the first playoff rankings? Seriously, in football. Does the AP poll mean anything after the middle of October?
Nope.
Okay. So we can forget about it in football in the middle of October, can't we? Who cares? Because the AP poll does not get you a seed in the NCAA tournament. The AP poll, my good friend Mel Greenberg started it in the 1970s to draw attention to women's basketball, okay? Then we had the RPI, which had its problems. The men went away from it a couple of years ago, and the women adopted that tool, the NET tool. And right now, Nebraska's 7th. I think that's too high, okay? But who is watching 351 women's basketball teams play? Nobody. If you look at it, I would go through that poll, the AP poll, and I would tear it up. I don't want to do it because I know most of the coaches who are ranked there, and I don't want to make them mad. But the AP poll is nowhere near close to what fans need to care about. I get its perception. Yeah, it would be nice being ranked. I'm not going to say the Huskers shouldn't be ranked. I think some people have mistaken my rant on this. But it's 2021. The earth isn't flat anymore, okay? Nobody has an 8-track tape player in their car. Get rid of the AP poll in terms of how you're looking at women's basketball, because trust me, the people who care, they're looking at the NET, and Nebraska's ranked 7th. And as far as I'm concerned, Nebraska's ranked 7th right now.
Hey, excuse me, but I've got an Ozark Mountain Daredevils 8-track tape somewhere in my closet.
Okay, there's one person out there with an 8-track tape player, and by the way, that's a great album, by the way, so you can keep that. I love the Ozark Mountain Daredevil. You and I are the only people listening to this show knows who they are, but that's okay. That's great.
Well, Colt, one thing I think, Nebraska's established themselves as a team to be dealt with in the league. Give me the top 3 or 4 teams in the league. Who will Nebraska be battling in the next 2 months to try to win a league title here?
Well, Maryland is the gold standard. Greg, Nebraska's never beaten Maryland in women's basketball. They didn't beat them in the NCAA tournament in 2008. They didn't beat them in the old Big 12 ACC challenge. It doesn't exist anymore. And they haven't beaten them since Maryland joined the Big Ten. So Maryland is the big 300-pound gorilla you got to get by. They are a potential Final Four team. Indiana went to the Elite Eight last year, best season in school history. Indiana has everybody back. They've got a 7th-year, that's right, 7th-year point guard.
Ugh.
Indiana, unbelievably good team. Then you have Iowa, Sweet 16 team last year. They've got everybody back. Nebraska gets them twice in a week and 2 of the next 5 games. Unbelievably good. Michigan, who will be here next Tuesday night, actually a week from Tuesday night on January the 4th, 8 o'clock Central. They had their best year last year. They've got, a Sweet 16. They've got everybody back, okay? So if you look at the next 5 games for Nebraska, Michigan State was an NCAA team last year. Told you about Michigan, told you about Iowa twice, and then Indiana. It's like playing in the regional round of the NCAA tournament 5 straight times. I mean, it really is. The schedule is unbelievable. But Maryland, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, and then to a lesser extent Ohio State, who also is very, very strong, is going to be something else. I mean, the top 7 teams in the Big Ten tournament or in the Big Ten are going to make the NCAA tournament, no doubt about it. And I think the league could get in 8 or 9, depending on how things shake out.
Very good. Well, let's hope COVID doesn't just make a wreck of the next 2 months. I know there's a couple games in the league that have already been canceled late in the week. The Huskers game with Michigan State is still on, so hopefully that happens. Breaks my heart, Coach, to see some of these bowl games get canceled because of COVID, but at least Army got a win. I don't know if a Navy guy can root for Army in their bowl game, but they got the Missouri Tigers last week.
Isn't that nice that Army got a win? I mean, I think it's nice. I mean, it's sort of like here's a tissue. We'll give you this Missouri team after you lost to Navy. I mean, that's nice that Army could win a bowl game. It would have been nice if they could have beaten Navy, I'm sure, Army fans, but they didn't. So they were able to beat Missouri. But I think, Greg talking about the COVID situation, there's now 4 Big Ten women's basketball games out of the 7 that were scheduled for this weekend that have been called off. And the league has not said what they're going to do about it. Every school that's issued a press release says the Big Ten has said they will announce how they will deal with the forfeiture policy very soon. And they got to get their arms around this, because what you don't want to see is Nebraska have to fight hard to beat Michigan State, and then a team like Minnesota that Northwestern, backed out of their game because of COVID protocols, Minnesota gets a forfeit win. I think the competitive balance here, the league's going to have to very quickly announce what's going to happen here so teams know what they're up against.
Totally with you. At the end of last hour, I mentioned that the ACC came out with some new policies today. You got to think the folks in Chicago are reviewing their policies and trying to figure this out, because if you don't, you could just have what we had last winter, which was just on and off, and everybody was missing games and then having to play 3 in a week, and it just got really messy a year ago.
Well, you think about it right now. 4 of the 7 games are already off this weekend, And if you're in Nebraska, you really would like to know, because it's a competitive disadvantage right now. If Michigan doesn't play, then they get Nebraska in their next game. They get more time to prepare. So if you kind of know that some of these teams might have to play 3 games in a week, if their game gets postponed, is it postponed or canceled? Do you get a win? I mean, the competitive balance here is really – I mean, this is going to have to – the Big Ten is going to have to come out with a statement here very, very quickly so the coaches know what they're up against.
All right, give us a quick snapshot. I know you're going to be in here tomorrow night with Amy Williams, but just about Michigan State. When I think about women's basketball and Nebraska's rivals, Michigan State, there's some bad blood between these two programs, right? That might be one of the bigger rivals for Husker women's basketball.
It is, and I think Nebraska feels like that they owe Michigan State. Last year, Nebraska won the game at East Lansing, and then they were supposed to play senior day here. Michigan State went to shoot around, came to the arena for the game, and then announced they weren't going to play because of an outbreak at Minnesota where they had been 4 days earlier. And if Michigan State would have lost that game to Nebraska, they wouldn't have made the NCAA tournament. By not playing it, they made the NCAA tournament. So there's some factions. I'm not in this faction, but there's some people who kind of looked at it and went, okay. So you've got kind of that thing. They have got arguably one of the best scorers for the nation in Nia Clouden. Greg, she put up 50 in an overtime loss to Florida Gulf Coast over the holidays. They've got 2 of their starters who are out for the year, and it's kind of affected their depth. And then Eliza Winston, their very good 2-guard, she went in the transfer portal right before the holiday break. So they've got some limited numbers. They've got a point guard now, Dee Hageman, who they hadn't counted on starting this year. They've got a good transfer, Tamara Farquhar, who fans might remember playing at Purdue. She is really hard to deal with and just a rebounding machine. So Susie Merchant always has her team right there at the end of the season. They're going to be tough. They're always tough in the Breslin Center, and the game, it's going to be a heck of a game. The Huskers won it last year, rallying. Izzy Bourne had a huge game last year. So, it's always very competitive. Yeah, I would consider Michigan State a rival, Greg.
Very good. All right, one question on our text line for you says, Matt, we know a lot about Sam Hybe. Jazz Shelley's been great. Talk a little bit about the freshman class and their contributions to this team already.
I think that's one of the reasons Nebraska has started undefeated. You take a look at And when you talk about freshman class, you have to include Kendall Coley, who was the early enrollee freshman last year, really helped to get her some game experience, last season. And she comes in right now, and she's a game changer. Alexis Markowski, who many Nebraska fans remember from Lincoln Pius, Nebraska State Player of the Year, has already twice been Big Ten Freshman of the Week. I think Allison Widener out of Humphrey, Nebraska, would start for most teams, as I said. Her dribble penetration getting to the lane is something you usually see from more senior guards, and her assist-to-turnover ratio has been great. And don't forget about Kendall Moriarty, who is a great defensive specialist. Has really her offense is not at the point that her defense is, which is kind of strange for a freshman out of the Chicagoland area. She's been a major contributor off the bench as a defensive player. So the freshmen, as I said earlier, they're not just warm bodies. They come in and they produce, and in some ways make the team better when they come in.
Very good. Well done. All right, Coat, we'll be back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, hour 1 of Sports On, Amy Williams' weekly show. That should be fun to hear that. One last thing on the text line, Coat. Jackie Blue, Ozark Mountain Daredevils. There you go.
Woo-hoo-hoo, yeah. Jackie Blue. Oh, and then how about If You Want to Get to Heaven? That's a great song also off that 8-track tape in your vehicle, Greg. So, yeah, I'm from the Ozark Mountain region. I know all about those guys. That's bringing back some memories. So there's 3 of us now who know who that group is, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's the highlight of my night, getting into this conversation. That's fantastic. Matt, we appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Sharpie. Take care.
There he is, Matt Coatney, voice of Husker women's basketball. Again, Amy Williams show tomorrow night. in hour one of Sports Nightly. He joined us on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy it online at woodhouse.com. We're back to let you listen in on a conversation that Jessica had with Jake Applegate, the young man from Lincoln Southeast, new member of Scott Frost's signing class from back on December the 15th. We'll have that conversation coming up next.
When you choose Woodman Life, you choose a better life insurance company. Yes, Woodman Life is life insurance, but so much more. Woodman Life is here to protect your family's financial future and offer help when the going gets tough. And Woodman Life is honored to join you in the celebration of family, community, and country. Get to know Woodman Life at woodmanlife.org. Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, Omaha, Nebraska. You always dreamed of owning your own farm. Now you're living your dream, and it's time to pick the tractor that makes it all come together. Massey Ferguson has reinvented what compact and utility tractors can be and redefined what they do, making them easier to operate, more comfortable to drive, more versatile than ever. Massey Ferguson gives Nebraska farmers the power and performance to win in the field. Manzer Equipment in Osmond, Nebraska, your full-time Massey Ferguson dealer, proud supporters of the Huskers and Nebraska farmers since 1975. Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. What is highbid.com? It's the online auction site for just about everything under the sun. Art and antiques, cars and coins, office equipment and furniture, toys and tools. You can find it all at highbid.com. Highbid.com gives you access to thousands of auctions across the USA and around the world. Browse the most popular auctions, search for the exact item you want, or just explore the site. Go to highbid.com. That's HIBID.com and find what you're looking for today.
You trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance. All without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Lutz is an integrated business solutions firm born and raised in Nebraska with offices in Omaha, Lincoln, Hastings, and Grand Island. Lutz provides expert accounting, consulting, financial, technology, M&A, and talent solutions tailored to you. Lutz embraces your business as their own to discover the right solutions to help you thrive. They mind what matters for businesses or individuals seeking a partner to help energize and heighten financial and organizational success. Visit lutz.us/GBR.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
This year, don't just get ready, get holiday ready with Ford. And the best place to start is at your local Ford dealer. Whether you're getting out to the mall or getting off the grid, we've got a Ford SUV that's perfect for you. Or check out America's best-selling trucks, Ford F-Series. Inventory is arriving daily, so get the season started off right and get our best offers during the Get Holiday Ready sales event at your local Ford dealer. Best-selling claim based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Hey Husker fans, if you're looking for an exciting new career as part of your pandemic recovery, Iowa has over 75,000 job openings in industries such as healthcare, advanced manufacturing, construction, IT, and ag. IowaWorks.gov has more information about job openings, earn while you learn apprenticeships, and exciting training and scholarship opportunities. Find your next great job in Iowa. They've got a solid game plan, a bright future, and want you on their team. www.iowaworks.gov. Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
This year, fire off your holiday catering wish list of Famous Dave's. For smaller gatherings, get their legendary pit barbecue and famous sides to go. Fixing for a larger group? There's delivery and setup. Or go all out with full service, where Famous Dave's catering team handles all the details while you savor all the glory. While you're at it, get your mitts on a $10 reward card when you purchase a $50 gift card. Holiday catering and gifting by Famous Dave's. Because when there's smoke and fire, there's joyful and triumph. Located in Lincoln and Bellevue and Famous Dave's.
We're back inside of our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer with 27 locations across Nebraska and into Kansas. Acres solutions for every field. Oh, how fun was that? Matt Coatney joined us for a few minutes. Never would have dreamt that I would have brought up the Ozark Mountain Daredevils on a Sports Nightly show, but there you go. That's what you stumble into sometimes on live radio, little things like that. Not a good start for Ian Book of the New Orleans Saints, a former Notre Dame quarterback, just threw a pick six. And Miami leads New Orleans 7-0, 4 minutes into their game down in the Superdome. Well, December 15th was National Signing Day, and one of the young men who signed his name to be a Nebraska Cornhusker grew up in Lincoln, went to Lincoln Southeast. That's Jake Applegate. Prior to him signing that day, he had a chance to sit down with our Jessica Coody. Let's listen in.
Hi, well, Jake, a Nebraska kid, I guess just kind of take us through your recruiting process and kind of how you, grew up probably dreaming about playing here, but how you kind of knew that you could come play here.
During the recruiting process with COVID and all, it was really, really slow. But once I was able to get here and have my workout in front of all the coaches and be offered on June 1st, it was kind of a no-brainer. This is where I wanted to be. It's kind of every Nebraska kid's dream to be able to play here in Memorial Stadium. So once, I had the offer, it was just a matter of time before I committed.
So you grew up a fan of the Huskers?
Yep, yeah.
Coming to games?
Yeah, I came to a lot of games with my dad and my uncle. They brought me down and introduced me to it when I was young and fell in love. So that moment when it's like, hey, you want to come be a Husker here, it's got to be really surreal and emotional for a kid that dreams about playing here. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, to have Scott Frost himself say, we want to extend you an offer and give you a chance to play here. It was pretty amazing. There's multiple Nebraska kids that are coming in this class, and we've seen some of the teams that have won national titles. There's a lot of Nebraska representation. How important is that for the best players in the state to kind of come play here? It's really important. It shows a lot about this team and, the culture built around here, that even the kids in state want to come play here. And, it sets up a lot for people out of state. So, they're playing there too. We might want to go check out there. You've been to every game this year, and as a fan growing up, you've probably watched this team very closely. What's kind of your take coming in as a recruit, seeing how close they've been to winning so many games this year? It's exciting. We're, I think, on the rebuild and on the come up. It's fun to be a part of, and I'm excited to be a part of that in the coming years. You said Barrett Rood was kind of initially helping to recruit you. He's a linebacker, a Nebraska kid. How cool was that to kind of build initially that relationship with him? That was pretty sweet. He's a Southeast alum, so you knew a lot about the coaches and who I was playing for at Southeast, and it was just awesome to get to know him really well and talk to him through the recruiting process. And then he introduced me to Mike Dawson, and he's a great guy, and it was pretty sweet. As, again, someone that's coming in and wanting to do big things, how exciting is it to see kind of what these linebackers, the linebacker group has been able to do, and young guys at that, to be able to have such an impact on this defense? It's pretty awesome to see what, Luke Reimer and Garrett Nelson and those type of guys have been doing this year. Gives me hope that maybe one day I can be doing what they're doing, And just being a part of the black shirts, how exciting is that? That's something you'll never forget, and it's an honor to be able to say you're a black shirt and be a part of that. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And the black shirts have been shutting down offenses and have been playing so well this year, and a lot of them have talked about the culture that they've really bought into this year. What have you kind of seen in that, and how much are you kind of already bought into that, being that you've been so close to the program?
I'd say, just as bought in as they are. Having a lot of meetings with Shenander and, what he's trying to, build and put that culture into those defensive guys, and they've all bought in, and clearly they've been playing really well, so I'm looking forward to being there just as bought in with them.
A lot of people will know and be familiar with your game, but for Husker fans that might not have seen you play in high school, kind of tell us what you're like out on a football field.
Kind of can do it all. Played wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, linebacker, safety for my team. Wherever you put me, I'm going to do what you need me to do.
And then just finally, and I've been asking everybody, tell us about this recruiting class and how kind of hungry you guys are to come in and help again help this team take the next step.
We're really excited. We got a group chat of the 2022 commits so far, and we're texting and constantly having a lot of fun, getting to know each other, and we're really excited to get in and start working with each other.
And are you coming in January?
I'm not, no. I'm going to finish out high school.
So then what kind of goes into that process to be able to come here in the summer and be ready to roll?
A lot of prep, a lot of training going into this, just communicating with coaches while these other kids are getting there earlier to be able to, make sure I'm not falling behind.
There's Jessica Coody with Jake Applegate, one of the newest members of this Husker football staff. 6'4", 210. Nebraska views him as an outside linebacker, a guy with that length, that size, the ability to cover. He talked about his safety skills, put him in the secondary. So that's what you kind of want. You also want a guy that can get to the quarterback. He's a pretty good athlete. He was also offered by Minnesota, so he had 2 Big Ten offers, Nebraska and Minnesota. Those are the kind you need to keep here in state. Nebraska able to do that with Jake Applegate, part of this recruiting class. So a Southeast Knight, a member of this group for the Cornhuskers. Also had in the chat room, they were asking about any update on a transfer portal quarterback. No, there's not. We can't talk about anybody that picks Nebraska out of the portal until the young men are officially enrolled in school. So even if Nebraska had somebody, they don't, but if they had somebody, we couldn't talk about them until they get officially enrolled in school. I think, again, the spring semester does not start until January 18th. So we're 3 weeks out from that. So they've still got time to get somebody under wraps in here in the next 3 weeks. So there's still plenty of football news that's going to be coming our way in the coming weeks. And same thing with volleyball. You have some big decisions to be made by some of the members of this volleyball team that they need to come make their decisions about whether they want to come back and take advantage of the COVID year coming up. So lots of Husker news on both of those fall sports still to come here this winter. All right, need to open on the phone lines. They are now open for you, 402-413-2400. It also doubles up as our text line as well. Fire off a text if you have some thoughts about anything Husker-related. We can get into that as well. Our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. More of the show coming up next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety, and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
When you choose Woodman Life, you choose a better life insurance company. Yes, Woodman Life is life insurance, but so much more. Woodman Life is here to protect your family's financial future and offer help when the going gets tough. And Woodman Life is honored to join you in the celebration of family, community, and country. Get to know Woodman Life at woodmanlife.org. Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, Omaha, Nebraska.
What's better than Huskers basketball? A Husker basketball VIP package. Enter for a chance to win 4 tickets to a game, hospitality access with food, a signed basketball, and the chance to hang courtside during warm-up, all courtesy of Nomi Health, your convenient COVID-19 testing partner. So, get tested and help stop the COVID spread and enter to score a Husker basketball VIP package. Slam dunk, indeed. To enter, visit huskers.com/Nomi, huskers.com/NOMI.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Score a game-winning drive when you buy your next vehicle at Sid Dillon Chevrolet. As a Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles, including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Whatever vehicle fits your needs, we're here to make the purchase process easy. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo. Plus, shop our full inventory at SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
Much like the values of the people of Nebraska, Nebraska Realty was built on the principles of hard work, dedication, and doing things the right way. They believe strongly in the power of creating lasting relationships and the value those relationships hold. Their success is based on trust and the relationships created with the people and communities they serve across the state of Nebraska. There really is no place like Nebraska Realty.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
What's better than Huskers basketball? A Husker basketball VIP package. Enter for a chance to win 4 tickets to a game, hospitality access with food, a signed basketball, and the chance to hang courtside during warm-up, all courtesy of Nomi Health, your convenient COVID-19 testing partner. So, get tested and help stop the COVID spread and enter to score a Husker basketball VIP package. Slam dunk, indeed. To enter, visit huskers.com/Nomi, huskers.com/NOMI.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer. They have 27 locations across Nebraska and into Kansas. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe with you here on a Monday night. Jessica's got a couple of well-deserved days off. She'll join me later in the week. Andrew here with me tonight as well as we're holding down the fort. No Husker sports until Thursday. That's that women's game against Michigan State. The men aren't in action again until Sunday when they will host the Ohio State Buckeyes at PBA night game, Sunday night game at 7 o'clock. All right, mention this in the ticker that Boise State is officially out of the 2021 Arizona Bowl due to a rise in COVID cases within that program. The Broncos were scheduled to play Central Michigan Friday afternoon in Tucson. Now, there's been a lot of chatter that Central Michigan might head east on I-10 from Tucson to El Paso because Washington State is looking for an opponent for the Sun Bowl because Miami had to drop out because of COVID issues within the Hurricanes program. Tucson's only 317 miles. They said it'd be pretty easy to put the Chippewas, who are already in Tucson, on a bus, send them over to the Sun Bowl. It would be more profitable for them. Their bowl payout quite a bit more. The Chippewas need to get approval from the MAC conference to say, yeah, you can vacate the Arizona Bowl and go play Washington State in the Sun Bowl. Sun Bowl is one of the oldest bowl games alive. I mean, the Huskers played in 1968, played Georgia, in fact, in a Sun Bowl. The Sun Bowl goes back 60, 70 years. It's one of the original bowl games, one of the first bowl games to be competed in. So we'll see if that happens. I don't know why not. I mean, they're already out there. It's not like they're still up in Michigan. They're already out there. Yep, it'd be 5-6 hour bus ride, but get over there, go play the game, and get two teams a postseason game. The coaches could put together a game plan in 4 days, and off you go. Boise becomes the 6th team to withdraw from a bowl game this season due to COVID protocols, and they're the 2nd Mountain West team to have to back out of a bowl game. Hawaii had to cancel their Christmas Eve game with Memphis. And there was another team. What's Memphis doing? I mean, Memphis they're fine. They were over in the islands. They were there. Couldn't they fly back and play somebody? You got Virginia is looking for an opponent because a team backed out on them. So I don't know why you can't just say, all right, we're putting you on a plane. These hotels are already reserved for these teams to stay at. You got spots for them to get to. Yeah, it would be bad for fans, right, if you bought a ticket to go see a bowl game in Honolulu to try to get yourself to the Gator Bowl or wherever Virginia was. But this one makes a lot of sense. Central Michigan, again, there's 317 miles between Tucson and El Paso. Get them on I-10, get them on buses, go make that thing happen. I was kind of hoping maybe we'd get some clarification on that tonight before we sign off the air, but we don't have that. Also, Ohio State had a tough day today. The Buckeyes set to play in the Rose Bowl against Oregon on January the 1st. Garrett Wilson, their outstanding wide receiver, who didn't play here in Lincoln. Remember, he was a late scratch. He got hurt and did not play against the Huskers in that early November game. He announced today that he is not going to play his senior year nor the bowl game because he wants to get ready for the draft. So he makes the announcement 4 days out that he wasn't going to play in their bowl game. That's a blow to them to not have him, and that also Chris Olave is not going to play in that game. Same kind of reason. So Buckeyes down a couple of big wide receivers with Olave and Wilson declaring for the NFL draft, so they are out. Not going to be able to play in that. So it's too bad for those guys, but that's what happens. You know, we had the discussion, I think even Coach Frost, when we had him in here a couple weeks ago, somebody was saying, you know, why are these players not why not play your bowl game? You know, I know you're trying to save your NFL career. I get that, but yeah. So back, Andrew just told me that ESPN.com is now it's official. So we got it. Central Michigan now will go to El Paso and they will play Washington State in the Sun Bowl on Friday. So there you go. Well done. Common sense prevails. Somebody finally put that together. You got two teams, same part of the country, both looking for a game, both teams physically ready to go. There was a lot of chatter today from the Barstool folks. Barstool was the sponsor of the Tucson Bowl about send Nebraska down here. And I know that got a little chatter. There's no way. Nebraska's team is scattered to all points right now. They're not on campus. They haven't been working out. There's no way that could happen. That's pie in the sky thinking that Nebraska could get themselves ready to do that in a couple of days. But it's official now. In fact, Andrea Adelson of ESPN just posted that story just a couple minutes ago that now it is official. Central Michigan and Washington State will play, love this, in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Love that. That is a great name for that thing. Who does not like Frosted Flakes? Come on. You're not American if you don't like Frosted Flakes. Come on. That's one of the great cereals out there of all time. All right, 402-413-2400. Still time if you want to jump on board. Rudy in Florida said also that Nebraska played Mississippi State in a Sun Bowl as well. Huskers have made a couple appearances in that bowl game out in West Texas in through their illustrious history. All right, still time if you want to jump on board with a comment, question, thoughts. And I also have my weekend winner to name coming up next break as well. Also time to tell you to buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Successful farmers must make good decisions every day. In pivot irrigation, the choice is simple. T&L exclusive hydraulically powered pivot irrigation systems are like no other. You get tough, reliable, and cost-effective irrigation. Let T&L's 60 years of irrigation experience work for you. Call your local T&L dealer or T&L Irrigation Company today. T&L, like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
This year, fire off your holiday catering wish list of Famous Dave's. For smaller gatherings, get their legendary pit barbecue and famous sides to go. Fixing for a larger group? There's delivery and setup. Or go all out with full service, where Famous Dave's catering team handles all the details while you savor all the glory. While you're at it, get your mitts on a $10 reward card when you purchase a $50 gift card. Holiday catering and gifting by Famous Dave's. Because when there's smoke and fire, there's joyful and triumph. Located in Lincoln and Bellevue and Famous Dave's.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Back final few minutes of our Monday show, Sports Highlight here on the Huskers Radio Network. 402-413-2400, the number to call us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. This time of the show, we always do our weekend winner, somebody that stood out over the weekend. And this one, folks, makes me smile. Former Husker, Rex Burkhead's my weekend winner. Burkhead, who's coming off of an ACL injury, no longer a Patriot. He's now with the Houston Texans. They've had a tough year, but man, did Rex go off yesterday. 22 carries, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns for the former Husker. He was fantastic in that game. So that one makes me smile to say Rex Burkhead with a huge game. Think about the length of his career. I mean, he's been in the NFL now 7, 8, 9 years. I mean, it's a fairly lengthy career. Running backs' careers don't last very long in the NFL. So he has withstood the test of time, fought back from that ACL injury from a couple years ago, and had a big game for the Texans as they beat the Chargers 41-29, a really bad loss for the Chargers, who were trying to hang in there against the Kansas City Chiefs in that AFC West. Their loss, coupled with Kansas City's victory over some team from back east, clinched the Chiefs' AFC West division. 6 straight AFC West titles for the Chiefs. But Rex Burkhead, my weekend winner. Again, that makes me smile to be able to throw that up there as well. Lots of bowl games coming your way in the next 24 hours. It's a busy day tomorrow for the college football bowl seasons. And I'm telling you, some really good matchups tomorrow. So if you're off work this week or you're a student at school, don't have school this week, 11 a.m. tomorrow, you've got Houston and Auburn squaring off. Houston, an 11-2 team. Auburn did not have a great year, but obviously an SEC team, so that ought to be a pretty interesting game tomorrow to view if you want to get going with your day early. That is the Birmingham Bowl, and I'm told that ticket sales have been great because it's right in the backyard of Auburn, so they've done pretty well. Then at 2:15 tomorrow, you've got the First Responder Bowl down in Dallas. It's Louisville and Air Force. That ought to be an interesting game. The betting line on that thing's 1, so that's a really close game. Then you have the Liberty Bowl in Memphis at 5:45. Mississippi State, Texas Tech. That's got some intrigue to it. You got Mike Leach against his old school, Texas Tech. So you got a great storyline built in for that one. Not done. 2 more to go tomorrow for bowl games. You got the Holiday Bowl. They're playing that at Petco Park. Used to play it at Qualcomm, home of the Chargers. I believe they've raised Qualcomm. I think it's gone. So they're playing this at the home of the Padres, so baseball park. It's UCLA and North Carolina State. That's an intriguing matchup. And by the way, that was one of our bowl picks. I think I took NC State in that game. And then our first Big Ten team takes the field tomorrow night late, 9:15 tomorrow night. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, that is in Phoenix. That is in another baseball park, the home of the Diamondbacks. It's the Golden Gophers, PJ Flex squad, against West Virginia tomorrow out of the Big 12 Conference. So there you go. You have 5 bowl games on tap tomorrow. Big day. So for those of you like not sure what you're going to do, it's going to get cold in Lincoln tomorrow afternoon. You're not going to be outside. So there you go. 5 bowl games. ESPN has 4 of them. Big Fox, has that Holiday Bowl with UCLA and NC State tomorrow night. So good day. That'll be fun. And then Wednesday, you got some more games going on, including Maryland in action out of the Big Ten on Wednesday. So Virginia, it was the Fenway Bowl back in Boston, got canceled. They got to have snow on the ground in Boston right now, right? So SMU, Virginia, not going to be able to play, so that game is out. But it is official. Thanks, Andrew, for pointing that out to me. Central Michigan is headed to the Sun Bowl, take on Washington State. Good for them. Good for the MAC. A little bit bigger payday for them. And bigger exposure. That's a CBS televised game on that'll be on Friday, on New Year's Day for that one. So 5 bowl games tomorrow, a lot more coming up this week. Not a great Monday night game. The Dolphins off to a 10-0 lead on the Saints in that game down in New Orleans. Ian Book threw a pick 6. Dolphins drove down, got a field goal a little bit later on. So there you go. All right, tomorrow night here on the program, back-to-back coaches shows. Amy Williams, our women's basketball show in hour number 1. Fred Hoiberg and our men's show in hour 2. Men coming off a victory over Kennesaw State in their final non-conference game of the year. The women undefeated, 12-0. They get back in action on Thursday, taking on Sparty up at East Lansing. And a game that got changed from a 1 o'clock start to a 2 o'clock start on Thursday afternoon. Matt Coatney, Jeff Creech will have the call of that game. Callers and guests into our show, they dial us up on our Sports Nightly hotline, which is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. Thanks to Matt Coatney for stopping by, spending some time talking about the undefeated Cornhuskers at 12-0. He'll be in with Amy Williams tomorrow night. I'll be in with Fred Hoiberg tomorrow night as well on our coaches' shows here on a Tuesday here of our holiday week here on Sports Nightly. Thanks to Andrew and to all of you for listening tonight. Enjoy the game. Enjoy those 5 bowl games tomorrow. That'll be fun to be able to kick back and watch some of that. We're back with another entertaining night of Sports Nightly headed your way tomorrow night. Have a great night. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woohoo! Business Technology 1, network downtime 0. Being a game-winning IT network takes hard work and an experienced technology coach. That's why our game plan includes Marco. Marco helps our entire business infrastructure perform better and score big day in and day out. With Marco's veteran experience guiding our team, every season is a winning season. Find out what your technology could be saying at marconet.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. Lutz is an integrated business solutions firm born and raised in Nebraska with offices in Omaha, Lincoln, Hastings, and Grand Island. Lutz provides expert accounting, consulting, financial, technology, M&A, and talent solutions tailored to you. Lutz embraces your business as their own to discover the right solutions to help you thrive. They mind what matters for businesses or individuals seeking a partner to help energize and heighten financial and organizational success. Visit lutz.us/GBR.
Much like the values of the people of Nebraska, Nebraska Realty was built on the principles of hard work, dedication, and doing things the right way. They believe strongly in the power of creating lasting relationships and the value those relationships hold. Their success is based on trust and the relationships created with the people and communities they serve across the state of Nebraska. There really is no place like Nebraska Realty.